Hi, I'm Laura McCracken, and I'm here in the lovely Marlene Dietrich bar at the Merchant Payment Ecosystems in Berlin. And I am trying to dispel some of our top 10 myths in payments. And I'm lucky enough to have Lena Hackelöer, who is here with me at Merchant Payment Ecosystems. She is the founder and CEO of Bright Payments. So, Lena, I have one of the myths I'd like to throw your direction.
Please do.
Now, I think this one is right up your alley based upon my stalking you on LinkedIn and seeing what you talk about. So the myth is myth number 7. Open banking will never be adopted by merchants. What say you? You have a choice. True, false, or it's complicated.
I'll be bold and I'll say it's false.
False, okay.
Yes. And I have
Definitive
proof.
false. Good.
Definitive false. And I have proof.
Very good.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
I would say that sort of there was an expectation earlier that open banking payments would take over and would defeat card payments altogether. And I think that everybody thought that was going to happen sooner. And it hasn't happened just yet. But just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's never going to happen. And we see a lot of proof right now in the market of merchants across Europe more widely adopting open banking payments. Mm-hmm. The reason for that, I think, is has many reasons, I would say. But one big reason is that the instant processing in Europe is becoming better and better. So we will be able to execute payments within just a few seconds by year's end, hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, which is a big contributing factor in solving merchants' pain points. And in the past couple of years, open banking hasn't really been able to address such pain points effectively. And now we see that that is actually happening, and we see that merchants are starting to catch up and starting to become more interested.
Can I ask you a little bit of a history? Backing up, when was open banking launched? And what problem was it trying to solve?
So open banking is not at all a new phenomenon. What is new is the regulatory framework that we have for it. And there's been great advances. We had PSD1 already back sort of in the late 2000s. Then we had PSD2 just a few years ago. And now we're just about to get PSD3, hopefully. So you see the framework has been evolving and it's been around for a while. But it hasn't been paired with good enough infrastructure and sort of wide adoption across the market, which is what's coming now. I think the initial pain point is essentially that you want consumers to be able to own their data and effectively use their bank accounts in the settings that they seem fit, rather than just in the context of banking. And payment is, I would say, the biggest emerging use case right now that we see for open banking.
Okay, great. And how does Bright Payments fit into this?
So unsurprisingly, we focus on open banking payments instantly across Europe. So what we do is we allow consumers to use their bank accounts to make payments anywhere they like. So any merchant that basically supports Bright will offer consumers the possibility to pay instantly and to receive refunds instantly or payouts, depending on the setting. We do that on the back of our own instant payment network that we've built that spreads all across the EU. Which then essentially gives merchants the benefits of actually getting a full settlement of their funds instead of having to receive payments one by one, which is also one of the pain points that we're looking to solve, which we didn't have in the first generation of open banking payments providers.
Interesting, cool. Now, I heard that you were in a panel discussion earlier today.
I was.
Which was moderated by one of my best buds, David Parker, but he can be quite controversial.
Yeah.
So do tell me, I heard that there was a bit of a point of disagreement on the open banking adoption.
That's true. We were joking. Typically, it's the panelists that don't agree with each other. In this case, David had one position and all the panelists agreed. So it was a really fun discussion. But essentially, we were debating on the adoption of account-to-account payments, where David was arguing that he hadn't seen many use cases just yet, whereas we had a viewpoint that basically provided, I think, a broader picture that we see actually a lot of use cases that are now emerging. Some of them pair with data. Some of them just purely focus on payments. Certainly with a regional component to it, where we see some regions moving faster than others. But on the total, of course, the use cases have been limited because we haven't seen retail adoption just yet. I would like to argue that is about to change.
Okay, very good. Do you have a good example? Success story?
There are quite many, I would say. But I think right now a lot of open banking providers focus on financial services because it's typically a vertical that doesn't only need instant payments, but also instant payouts that can be quite easily combined. So we see that pick up. We see a lot of digital goods and instant consumables. So things that you know you're not going to return, you're more likely to want to pay upfront directly from your bank account. So that is picking up. But even classic e-com, physical e-com, is now also starting to pick up.
Yeah, interesting. Very good. And when did you start Bright Payments?
In 2019, just before the pandemic.
Really? Wow. And what made you decide to do that?
So my background is in payments. I've been in payments for my entire career. I spent many years working for Klarna. So buy now, pay later is my
Klarna
home.
well.
Fantastic business, extremely interesting growth story. But of course, focus on the other end of the market, right? Whereas we are much more in the pay now domain, whereas they focus on pay later. But I did see a gap in the market, basically after my time in Klarna, that I felt that nobody had addressed, which was essentially offering instant account-to-account based payments on the back of open banking rails, but paired with a consumer focus as well. And this was, by the way, a discussion we also had on the panel with regards to where is the consumer in all of this, where is buyer protection, how do we incentivize consumers to actually adopt account-to-account payments.
Good point.
So at Bright, that's a big focus of ours because we're a branded payment option in the checkout always. We don't provide white label infrastructure.
Okay. So actually people hit Bright Payments?
Yes.
Very good. And which countries are you in now?
So right now we cover 26 markets. So the full coverage in the Nordics, Baltics, Benelux, now is Germany is coming. And in Southern Europe, we currently only do payouts, but we'll be launching payments soon as well. So.
Very good. Excellent. Well, I wish you all the best, and I thank you for coming and joining us. Let's raise a toast to Bright Payments, and hope you enjoy merchant payment ecosystem.
Thank you so much. Lovely to meet you.